This video is going to show you how to sort your home paperwork out once and for all. The problem with home paperwork is people either don't have a system or they implement incredibly complicated systems that actually life doesn't give you time to sort out or complete. So when I put a new paperwork system in my client's house, 9 times out of 10 it is always the same one, and 10 times out of 10 they love it. The first reaction with what I'm going to show you is it's too simplistic, it's not detailed enough. But when I talk it through, you'll see that actually it doesn't need to be any more complicated than it is. I've implemented this for 15 years and I truly haven't had any complaints. Step 1 is to gather every single piece of paperwork from your entire house. Now for some people that's going to be boxes and boxes worth, dating way back, and for others it's not going to be as much. You want to clear a space, either a big kitchen table, something like that, dining table, or your lounge floor, something like that. Move your coffee table to the side, and every piece of paper is going to end up in a pile. All your bills will go in one pile, all of your car related paperwork will go in one pile, house rental, any big purchases that you've bought, there'll be a pile for health, there'll be a pile for banking, maybe insurances, the list goes on. But as you go through that paperwork, the categories will become clear, and keep as few categories as you can. So that will take a while, and it may be something that you might want to do over a few days and sort of keep to the side of the room. But once you've got everything into your categories, go through each pile individually and get rid of anything you don't need. If you aren't a business, then more than likely you can get rid of all of your old bills that date back years that you've just been keeping kind of for no reason, as a just in case. I don't see a reason that you would need to keep them. Obviously for things like PPI, you've got to be a bit careful with bank statements and card statements and stuff like that, but make sure they get put to the side. Anything you might need for PPI or to check back on, put those to the side in one separate pile. There's something you can deal with later, not right now. Step 2 comes with this fantastic piece of equipment here called the Bisley 10-drawer filing cabinet. That's what you can search online, and these will come up. There's a more expensive version and a slightly cheaper version, but on Ryman's website I believe they're about £70. They frequently have a sale though that puts them down to £62. And this is made of metal and it will last you the next 50 years. They're fantastic, and even if they get a bit weathered and battered, it actually doesn't matter, they still look great. These are 10 drawers. You might, for your family, if you've got lots of kiddies, want to get either 2 of these, or they do a 15-drawer cabinet as well. The reason I've got 10 is because it fits perfectly under my desk. It just slots in. But if you get the bigger one, that's absolutely fine too. You can also get 5-drawer ones that fit on top of a desk. Now, a lot of my clients will buy a 5-drawer one just to put their kids' stuff in, which is a really good idea. And the labels you put on will be determined by the categories of your paperwork that you've laid out on the floor. My categories are specific to my life. They'll all be different for everybody's households. So I've got my top drawer as important documents. Now for me, this is my passport, birth certificates, anything to do with visas or anything like that. You might want to put marriage certificates in there too. But that's basically the one labelled important is for everything to go in one place. So you never lose your passport, your driving licence, anything like that. It's all in there in one place. The next one I've got is car. Anything to do with my car is in this drawer. Anything that needs to stand out, as an example, your most recent MOT certificate, your car logbook, all the important bits, get put in one of these, what I call thumb cut files. These are fantastic and go perfectly with this whole paperwork system. So if I know that I need to tax my car, or I'm selling my car, or just need to get hold of the most recent documents, I will always make sure they're in one of these coloured thumb cut files. That also goes for if there's anything else that needs to stand out in any of these drawers. So as an example again, I've got a mortgage drawer. Anything that is current, that like my most recent mortgage statement, or if you rent, your most recent rental agreement, something like that, again goes in a plastic file so it stands out from the rest of the paperwork. I've also got one for memberships here, for like flight clubs and things like that, my Costco membership. I've got another one for banking. Another one is insurances, so that's all my work insurances, all split up again by plastic files. Then I've got HMRC, all my tax paperwork, all those horrible tax documents and accountant documents that come through the door, they go straight in here. Again, split up with plastic files if there's anything important that needs to stand out. Then I've got one for health, hospital letters, things like that. Another thing to mention here is the way these plastic files also work great if there's obviously a few members of your family. So you could have a health drawer, and each member of the family can have one of these plastic files, and you can put a little label on the bottom with each person's documents within those. So it's still really simple and easy to file. It's just a really basic system. And another one I've got here is purchases. So I've got receipts for my sofa, my bed, and anything expensive that I've bought that I need to find would be in that one. Step 3. So once everything is filed away and all your current paperwork is up to date, you've shredded what you don't need, you've got rid of anything that you no longer need to look at, and you have put everything into your categories in your Bisley filing cabinet. Everything is up to date. You just need to know the process that you're going to use from now on, and it's extremely simple. Any piece of paperwork that comes into your home from now on will only ever have one of 2 choices. The first choice is you've looked at it and it simply needs to be filed away. So as an example, here is a utility bill. It comes in, I look at it, everything's fine, go to my bills drawer and in it goes. It doesn't need to be sectioned in there. You don't need to split up water, council tax, electricity, gas. That doesn't need to happen, because the likelihood is you're not going to ever need to go back in and find it. If you do though, everything will naturally be filed in date order and really easy to find. So that's how simple you've got to keep it, and believe me, it really, really works. The second choice is that you need to do something with it, you need to action it. Now I hate the term to do, so I have instead an action box. You can have an action tray, an action pile, an action box, but this is my action box. So if I need to do anything with something, it goes in here. So in here will be a bill that I've got a question, someone that I've got a phone, sort out, something that I've got to send off for, anything at all that needs actioning. And it's not just paperwork that comes through your door, it's anything that comes up in life. If you need to action it, it goes in one place from here on in. And that will be your action box. And that will live either on your desk if you've got one, or above your Bisley cabinet. It can just sit on top of there. And I often put a label on people's just saying action, because if you see it, then it's a reminder that it's there. If you have any paperwork that you truly do not want to get rid of, but it's a little bit older, and you do not want it in your daily space, you know that you're probably not going to need it or need to look at it, but you absolutely cannot face getting rid of it yet, and buy yourself a simple plastic box. They sell them everywhere. I use the really useful ones because they're really secure, and that will be then labelled your archive box. So that is the stuff that you probably won't need to look at, probably don't actually need, but cannot yet let go of. For safety, buy the box, pop it in there and put it somewhere up high so you know exactly where it is, and then in a couple of years you'll probably find that you can let go of it and you don't need it anymore. One last tiny thing that I use in clients' homes, and that is for anything that is going to be too much paperwork to fit in one of these drawers. We don't want to cram things in here. So I get these A4 boxes which are fantastic. They work really well for manuals and guarantees, that kind of thing, because people often have a lot in their house. So these are perfect for that. I've got another one for receipts, because when I've got receipts in my hand, I just want to be able to dump them somewhere and think about it later. And that kind of sums up the really simple paperwork system. Adapt it for yourself. Your titles will be different to mine. If you've got children, you might want a drawer for each of their schools, or you might want a separate drawer for their health paperwork. Maybe they've got a load of after school clubs that generate a mass of paper, in which case have a drawer marked after school clubs. A lot of people get their banking now just online, so that scraps that drawer. Banking doesn't need to have a drawer anymore. So try and be as ruthless as you can with your old paperwork, and realistic that actually you probably won't ever need to look at it again.